It's March 7th, 1991, and game developer Capcom has just released their newest game, Street Fighter II. It's an instant hit with lines building up at arcade machines, and to this day, it's still considered to be one of the greatest fighting games of all time. People are having a blast playing the game and fighting one another, but then people notice something strange within the game. In Street Fighter II, you get to choose one of 8 characters to play as. When you defeat an opponent, each character will spout a different quote for their victory. But if you play as the character Ryu, his victory quote will state that, "You must defeat Sheng Long to stand a chance." Okay. But who the heck is Sheng Long? He's not one of the characters to choose from, and he's not a boss in the game's story. So that must mean one thing. Sheng Long must be an unlockable character, or an unlockable boss fight.
It's gotta be a character. It has to be. There's some secrets in here. A lot of people. Because the first Street Fighter was all about secrets.
Somewhere in this game lies a character that players need to find in order to really stand a chance. But nobody knows where he is, what he's capable of, or even how to unlock him. And it would remain that way for over a year, until April 1992. When a video game magazine by the name of Electronic Gaming Monthly would release that month's newest issue, stating that they had finally found Sheng Long. The article was written by a man named Ken Williams, but he was not the one to find Sheng Long. That honor went to a person known as W.A. Stokens from Fujigen Ha. They had found Sheng Long, had photos to back up their evidence, and not only that, they're going to tell us exactly how to find him. Okay, so how you unlock Sheng Long goes like this. You must play the game as Ryu, and not take a single hit until you get to the stage where you fight the character M. Bison. From there, you must survive 10 rounds in a row without hitting or getting hit by M. Bison. Afterwards, Sheng Long will jump in and throw M. Bison off screen, and then the player must defeat him in a full fight to the death. After all this time, Sheng Long could no longer stay in hiding. Players now had the knowledge and the skill. They went to the nearest arcade cabinet, quarters at the ready, prepared to take down the one who's been eluding them for over a year.
Fight!
Right, level 10! We better not lose this time.
Dude, quit messing around and we'll beat it.
After spending hours fighting, not taking any hits, and 10 long rounds of not fighting M. Bison, players were finally rewarded with nothing. Wait, nothing? Really? Did we screw up or something? Did we miss a step? It doesn't look like it. We did everything right. Where's Sheng Long? I guess we did something wrong. Well, let's try again. Players completed the challenge a second time, and this time they were rewarded with nothing again. Time and time again, they followed all the directions and all the rules and still were rewarded with nothing. What the heck is going on here? Where is Sheng Long? Well, it wouldn't be until a few months later that same year when the truth would come out. This article that talks about how to unlock Sheng Long is a prank.
You just got pranked!
The entire thing was made up by staff at Electronic Gaming Monthly as an April Fool's prank.
I got so used to seeing that Sheng Long, you must defeat Sheng Long to stand a chance. So when we saw that phrase, we're like, there's got to be a secret character. So I'm like, you know what? We got this newfangled Photoshop versions and stuff like that. What if I create one? So I went and I started I can recolor stuff. I can take parts of this character and put them on over here. It was coming up where if we were going to do an April Fool's gag, we had to come up with something. There was a crowd of all the editors around us. And then next thing I know is Steve comes by. He's like, what's going on? And this is one of those rare things where Steve, come check this out. You think maybe we could use this for April Fools? And he took one look and he's like, Make it happen.
He loved it.
He loved it. This looks actually pretty good. I think this is going to fool a lot of people.
We started hearing through osmosis that people, despite all of our clues, were falling for it.
Their little prank enraged not only gamers, but arcade owners as well.
And arcade owners were like, "You're breaking our machines. The quarter mechs are full."
I was getting hate mail in the first
Oh.
section, opening letters and like, I can't do this. What's wrong with you?
I spent my whole paycheck trying to unlock this trick, man.
6 hours wasted.
Oh my dude, you just got pranked.
Not only were players fooled, but it fooled other publications around the world in Europe, Japan, and even Hong Kong, as they passed off the story of Sheng Long as if it was real.
It showed up in Japan.
Yeah.
They started reprinting it like, oh, look at this cool trick that we found.
The prank even reached Capcom, the developers of Street Fighter, and they had to come out and say that Sheng Long was a prank.
This is legit. This really happened. Somebody comes running into the office. I don't remember who it was, but somebody came in. Guys, call Capcom corporate number right now. Call Capcom's corporate. So, all right, we call, and it's their recording. And they're like, thank you for calling Capcom USA. If you're calling about the EGM trick, please call EGM at this number. So apparently they were getting inundated
I didn't
with
even
calls.
know that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I don't know who it was that ran into the office and called Capcom corporate. Capcom corporate's probably mad at us. Like, I think we've done something horrible here.
I thought we did something great.
Keep in mind that this was the early 90s when the internet was still small and fact-checking wasn't as easy. So when they see this article, many people believe it as fact, even though it's supposed to be obvious that it's a prank. The person who supposedly found Sheng Long, W.A. Stokens from Fooled Again Ha, are pseudonyms for Waste Tokens and Fooled Again Ha, respectfully.
Saul Goodman. It's like, it's all good, man.
The method of unlocking Sheng Long was meant to be near impossible due to the requirements needed to pull it off.
So we tried to make it as ridiculous as possible.
And also, the bottom of the article literally tells readers to be on the lookout for an April Fool's joke in the magazine on the page that talks about Sheng Long, but still it went over everyone's heads.
We literally put the contest on the page. I say, if somebody falls for this, I don't know what to tell you. I can't. I said that just means people are gullible.
I don't get it.
So, the whole thing was a prank.
Prank, baby.
But the question still remains, how do you really unlock Sheng Long?
That's the neat thing. You don't.
Because Sheng Long doesn't exist. But how could he not exist? He's mentioned in the game. In fact, later in April 1992, Street Fighter II would be ported to the SNES, and the manual for it would state that he's the master of characters Ryu and Ken. How could he not exist? Well, in order to understand that, we need to know what was going on with games back then. Back in the late 80s and early 90s, Japan dominated the gaming market. This caught the attention of people in the USA who also wanted to be part of these games. So they started shipping games over to America. But the problem was that most of these games were in Japanese and had to be translated into English. And translations back then were not very good. This led to some comedic mistranslations, such as, "Congratulation, I feel asleep. This guy are sick. Welcome to die." And the most infamous mistranslation,
All your days are belong to us.
this victory quote from Street Fighter II is one of those mistranslations. Ryu is supposed to say, "You must defeat my Shoryuken," to stand a chance. Shoryuken was accidentally translated to Sheng Long, and the rest is history. All that money, all that time, wasted on a character who didn't even exist. But could he exist? After the prank, the name of Sheng Long began to spread, to the point where fans demanded him to be real. On December 17th, 1992, Capcom released Street Fighter II Turbo, and in the game, there was a new character that players could fight, and the process to unlock him was eerily similar to the challenges that were mentioned in the EGM article about Sheng Long. Players followed all the steps and were rewarded with fighting the elusive Akuma. Okay, well, a few years later, in 1994, Street Fighter would get a movie, and with it a tie-in video game the following year, a game which makes numerous references to Sheng Long, but he still makes no appearance. In 1997, Capcom announced Street Fighter III New Generation, and many fans were confident that this would feature the elusive Sheng Long. The game came out in February of that year, only for Sheng Long to make no appearance. That April, EGM once again came out with another article telling everyone that Sheng Long does exist within the game. This time, it was a lot more obvious that it was an April Fool's prank. It spent more time talking about the backstory of Sheng Long than it did explain how to unlock him, and when it did explain how to unlock him, the article just ends abruptly. Also, if you look at the first letter in the first sentence, it starts with the letter A. The first letter of the second sentence starts with the letter P. If you do this for the first 10 sentences of the article, it actually spells out the phrase, April Fools. Okay, that's actually pretty clever. Not that many people fell for it this time. The sequel wasn't as good as the original, but the article did add some lore into the legend of Sheng Long, such as him being the master of Ryu and Ken, that he's the brother of Akuma, and it completely changed his character design. It also said that the reason why players can't find him is because Sheng Long goes by a different name in Japan. Gouken. Gouken was mentioned in the Street Fighter II manga, and in 2008, with the release of Street Fighter IV, he would become a playable character. Around this time, some fans accepted that Gouken and Sheng Long were the same person, but with different names, although other fans were adamant about this. In an interview with EGM earlier that year, producer Yoshinori Ono hinted that Sheng Long would make an appearance in the game, but as mentioned earlier, he never did. In April of that year, Capcom themselves made an announcement on their development blog about an unlockable character coming to Street Fighter IV, complete with a silhouetted image and the technique to unlock him. But the next day it was confirmed to be another prank.
I don't like this anymore.
This time, the reception was a lot more negative, as many fans were getting tired of being subject to an inside joke that had been going on for over a decade. No! A few days later, the same development blog would go on to state, Sheng Long is still now, and always will be, truly a character of legend. A legend that would continue to grow over time. In November that year, Street Fighter II would receive an HD port, and Sheng Long would be referenced as an achievement for beating Akuma in arcade mode. In 2012, Disney released the movie Wreck-It Ralph, which featured many references to classic video games, one of them being a reference to Sheng Long with his name spray painted on a wall. Then in 2017, with the announcement of Street Fighter V, many fans hoped that he would make an appearance, only to have their hopes crushed once again as they were met with another joke profile on the Capcom Fighters Network website. At this point, the legend of Sheng Long had been going on for over 20 years. What started off as a mistranslation that turned into a prank by some gaming journalists had become one of the biggest legends and running jokes in gaming history. But here's the thing about running jokes. Eventually they stop being funny, and they need to come to an end. And as for this running joke, well, there was only one way for it to end properly.